All right, last instructional video here. I actually made this one already, but I was, like I said, I was so tired, I think I was falling asleep while I was making it. So let's try this again. All right, so what we're doing now is we are going to, we're going to multiply things where we have more than one term multiplying by other things that have more than one term, right? So we've got a binomial here, so two terms, times another thing with two terms, and then the second one we have a trinomial, so 1, 2, 3, that's tri, like think of a tricycle, 3 wheels, times a binomial, that's 2 terms, okay? So the big thing here is I'm not a real giant fan of FOIL. I think FOIL is a great mnemonic for people who absolutely have to have it, but I just call this basically double distributive property. Pretty much what you got to remember is think of this as your first term on the outside of the parentheses, except that now we got to do this twice. So we're going to take this and we're going to multiply this by both things, right? And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to take this and we're going to multiply it by both things. And I think if you work systematically that way with these, then you don't have to worry about, you know, first outside, oh, am I doing the outside for, or is that the last, or, you know. And honestly, I get more screwed up trying to do that than I do if I just say, well, I'm taking the first term and I'm multiplying it by everything on the second set of terms, right? So this is the one that's acting on this, right? So if you think about it that way, then you know you're always in pretty good shape. So if I do that, your first problem here is your first product is going to be 3y times 5y. All right, so we're doing this first one right here. And then we're going to do 3y times 4. All right, and again, I'm not putting signs in because we're going to determine those based upon the signs of our products. All right, then I'm going to switch to red, and we are going to do 2y times 5y, or sorry, 2 times 5y. All right, 2 times 5y, and then we're going to do 2 times 4. All right, 2 times 4. There we go. And now it's just a matter of just multiply these things and just put it together and see if you got to collect anything, and then you're done. So 3 times 5 is 15. We have 2 y's, so that's going to be y squared. Think about your rules, right? There's an implied 1 here and an implied 1 here. 1 plus 1 is 2. Then we got 3 times 4, so that's 12, and then we have a y because there's only one y. 2 times 5 is 10, and then we have y, right? And then we have 2 times 4, which is 8. And because none of these have negatives, these are all plus, right? So it's all plus, okay? So cool, all right? So this is the only y squared term, okay? This is the only y squared term, so we're going to go 15y squared, all right? Now we have 12y and 10y, so we're going to add those together, so plus 22y, and then we have plus 8, all right? So this is finished, all right? There's nothing else to combine. It's in good shape. Now this next one is going to be the exact same thing, guys, all right? So I'm going to start with my n squared term, and I'm going to multiply this by both of these terms, all right? So we're going to have n squared times n, and then we're going to also have n squared times 2. All right, cool. Now we're going to switch colors here just for clarity purposes, and we're going to do 4n times n times 2. So you're going to have 4n times n, and then you're going to have 4n times 2. Sweet. Change colors one more time. And then we're going to do -6. Remember, you got to include that sign, times n, right? So -6 times n, and then -6 times 2. And then it's just a matter of multiply these things and see what you get, and then collect things. All right, so this is going to give me n to the third power because that's a 1. You got 1 plus 2 is 3, so you get n to the third power. This is going to give me 2n squared. All right, you always put the number first. And then this is going to give me 4n to the second power because you have an n here and an n here. So we can see that we'll be adding these two together at some point in the very near future. So 4n times 2 gives me plus 8n because it's positive. And now here's where our negatives start to come in. We have negative 6 times n, so you get negative 6n. And then negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. So I can combine this guy and this guy, so let's do that. We get n to the third plus, and you got 2, and then you got another 4. That means you got a total of 6. And then now we have 8 n's, and we have negative 6n. So that's positive 2n and then minus 12, and that is all she wrote. That's all you got to do for these guys. Is just be really careful and picky with how you multiply. And then once you've done that, combine things that can be combined, and then you're done. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.